Hey, I'm glad that you're here. I promise Rebecca will be back next week. Been editing this video, and man, I'm kind of a grumpy dude this week. I could edit things out. I could make it look like we always have good days. We never have bad days. I don't know if you guys want to see us having bad days. You've only got a certain amount of time to relax. You're going to watch someone else have a bad day. That's not real fun, maybe. But people do watch horror movies, and they watch Old Yeller. And so, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Sometimes things just don't go right, and I could edit it all out and make it look like my days are always perfect, but that's just not reality. And it doesn't make me any different than some guy in Hollywood pretending to be something he's not. It's just me being me and Rebecca and I just doing life, and we hope you enjoy what we're up to. And sometimes things don't go right, as you're about to see if you keep watching. So we're installing a dash cam today. The weather's warmed up and melted the snow, and then it's frozen and everything is ice. So I'm just going to use little red with the chains, drive around and bust this ice up so we get a little grip when we're walking around in our driveway. Rebecca already took a tumble once and boom, landed on her back and was laid up for 3 days. So I'm just going to try and bust up my driveway a little bit, give it a little traction if we're walking on it. Let's see, yeah. Now we got some traction, at least when you're walking around. Okay, today's project is a dash cam. I had been wanting to get one of these for quite some time, and I had one at one point in the 4Runner. It was kind of a poor quality. So last year, Rebecca and Cheyenne pulled together and got me this dash cam, not a sponsor, for my birthday, I think it was. And it's been sitting on my desk, and it's time to just put it in. Now, Rebecca and Cheyenne know me, and they know that I'm not going to want the thing that you can plug in the cigarette lighter. So they bought me the auxiliary extra kit that allows you to hardwire it into your fuse box. And this is kind of the concept. Little camera, and there's the cigarette lighter. We're not going to do that. And then the camera wires around to the back camera. And so that's part of why I haven't come out here and just put it in. How hard could it be to put a dash cam in? Is that you got to kind of pop some panels and run wires, and nothing's ever really easy. On this power cord, it's got a ground, and it's got straight to the battery, and then it's got the ACC, which means when you turn your key on, it gets power. So it's a pretty good size camera. It's a lot of controls on it. I mean, it's pretty heavy. It feels like about 10 moving boxes. I'm expecting to put the adhesive, and we stick the camera where we want it. All right, the camera is mounted. Says when the fuse box says not used, I don't know if that means there's no fuse in there or it's just not wired up. I don't know the answer. So we'll turn the key on. Now we'll check it again. And I still got nothing. I like smoky sharp cheddar, and I can't seem to find it at any of the stores here. So I'm going to try and do it myself. Now, watch, we're going to get under here, and that's going to come down. I just know it. Never smoked cheese before. Did some poking around on YouTube. Found some guys that knew what they were doing. Sounded like they knew what they were doing. I got a smoker, Traeger, but they don't actually use the auger and the Traeger because it creates too much heat. So they use the smoker tube. Well, this is the same smoker tube we use for our salmon. So I'm going to set that off. You run it for an hour, flip them, run it for another hour, and you get your smoky sharp. So it's a trial experiment this time. We're just going to see what happens. If it works well, I'll put more blocks of cheese next time. But I'm trying to get my own smoky sharp cheese because I can't find it at the stores here. See how the flames come out the top of that? That's what I like to see, the flames coming out the top. And then it always seems like if I back off now, it goes out. So I need to just keep it going. Let that one on the outside burn a little bit. There we go. Close the tube. All right. Smoke's pouring out. We'll let her ride for about an hour and we'll flip them and then let it go another hour. So we'll be back. This is taking me a little longer than I planned because I can't find you need both a constant hot and the hot that's when you turn the key on. And I can't find a fuse in the fuse box that's gonna give me what I need. It's that easy. Just go hook up the camera. How hard could it be? My meter is currently not giving me continuity. Why would it do that? What the heck is going on? It was just buzzing. Now it stops buzzing. Just never fails. Go get my good meter. Okay, this is a real meter, a Fluke. It should buzz when you touch the connectors every time, not just sometimes. All right, so this connector here that they give you, it's got these tabs here that you could unplug a fuse and plug this thing into that fuse hole. Then it's got these little blank spaces on either side here that you could plug that fuse into, and it would make the connection from here through that fuse that you just put in and down to here. This one also goes from this point here into this side of the fuse, through that fuse, and out here. So this is the piece I've been looking for. I can unplug any fuse. It'll have a hot lead on one side, and it'll go through to the other, and we should be good to go. Standing on this slippery ice trying to figure out what's going on, you can't think because you're holding your balance the whole time and your feet are getting cold. I got 12 volts. Okay, so that one works. So this one now has power when I turn the key on. Now I've got to find one that is powered up when the key is not on. Fuse puller. Jeez. You know what I feel like right now? I feel like that guy that does the fishing videos. Shoot. How hard could it be to hook up a backup camera or a dash cam? 0.112 volts. I don't know what that means. So frustrating. 0.85 volts. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why it's giving me any voltage at all. Now they give me none or 12. Number 25. Number 25. Four-wheel anti-lock brake system. Well, I kind of don't want that to blow. And there's no information online that tells me, oh, this one's hot all the time. So frustrating. I'm back to my dash cam project. You know, sometimes I'm dealing with so many things that are outside of the dash cam project. I don't have the patience for things that aren't working right. And so I spend my patience on things like it's cold and it's dark and I'm standing on ice and every step I take, I'm sliding and slipping. So I got myself a rubber mat here. It's now lighter. It's not necessarily warmer, but it's not cold. because we got this weird warm spell going on. And I'm going to try and get back to this dash cam project. And it's so simple. It should be so simple. I did some research online. I found out that it's battery number 1 ought to work for me. Okay, that one won't work because the way the fuse block is, it's got to step down to get to that fuse, and so when I try to plug this in, it won't reach. So battery number 1, or fuse number 1, is not going to be the solution to my problem. Okay, some more research says fuse number 34. There is no fuse number 34. It just keeps getting better. We're going to go try it some more. Ha! We got 12 volts. Wow. What a project to get that to work. My goodness. Finally, I've got the continuous hot and the ignition hot wires available. I got to get this to a ground. There's a ground right there. I'll be able to ground that, wire that up, and that should be all the electricity we need. Then we're just running a wire to the back, and it's that easy. 2 days later. So unfortunately, I'm plagued with another case of let's design these fancy fuse things. It looks like a great idea. I was like really excited to see them. Let's design these fancy fuse things to make it easy for people to wire up. And nobody said the lid won't fit when you do that. Now, I know these go to a lot of vehicles, but the lid doesn't fit when you use the fancy thing. So how many engineering meetings did they have sitting around at a table with eating donuts with guys with ties on, and nobody said the cover won't fit? It drives me crazy how this stuff gets all the way to the consumer and nobody ever installed one. I just don't get it. End of rant. Let's check on the cheese. How's it looking? Just flip her over, I guess. Doesn't look very smoky to me. We'll just let it keep smoking. So having gone through the fiasco of putting in the fancy dash cam connectors, the fancy dash cam connectors that were too big when you plugged them in to be able to put the cover on, and then therefore the panel under the steering wheel, I decided to go with inline fuse setup instead. There we go. I'll hit that with a shrink tube. These are the ones that have the heat shrink built in around it. So you crimp it in the middle, heat shrink it. It's good to go. I just came to get some wood for Rebecca, and I saw this unique feature here on the tree. I wanted to check it out, see if I can figure out what tracks are going to it. It's either a rub or it's a porcupine. I'm not sure. Those are moose tracks. Right here, so this is a bull moose. Right there, not that long ago, because he's rubbing all the bark off. There's a little guy around here. There's a little moose around here. Little tiny rack. But, yeah. I think that's what that is. Moose. Look at up here. Some branches broken off. Okay, we're back. Familiar location. Get this thing wired up. 12 volts. All right, we got one. Now let's find the other one. Again, this is not a how-to, it's a how we do. We got 12 volts. We got 12 volts 2 times. Let's check on the cheese. So still a little smoky. That's good. Still smoking. It's been 2.5 hours. Been 2.5 hours. And the smoker is down here, so it's still got some smoking to do. Oh, you can see a difference in color there. Yeah, you can kind of see a difference in color there. So let's keep this. We're just going to keep smoking it. Yeah, I can see a little difference in color. We're going to keep smoking and just let it smoke up. I can see I want to be careful that it hits the spot that the windshield wiper wipes. So, like right there, over here on the side. I can't just move it because the motor is attached to it, so that's a bad idea. I don't know if I run that around, that's not going to be good. I'm going to have to go through that wiring harness. So this has got to come off somehow. That sounds about right. Yeah, just kind of pops off of there. We're closer. Oh, I feel it. Ah, so exciting. Check this out. Yeah, that thing's pretty cool. We had a name for this stuff back in the day. It was goose poop or something like that. This stuff we would put on cables to pull them through channels and tunnels and things. Hold the panels on so it's not in the way of those. Oh, uh-oh. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. That's my rear window defroster. Looks like it popped off. Looks like I popped it off. I wonder how that secures. It's gonna need some kind of epoxy or something. Some kind of a silver solder or something like that. Because nothing's ever easy. Gotta add to the problems. How hard could it be? All right, I'll go do some research. Figure out how to reattach my rear window defroster. All for the backup camera. It's not even a backup camera. It's all for the dash cam. Okay, they both came off the smoker. I just left them in there until the smoker stopped. But vacuum sealed them up. I'll let them sit for about 3 days is the rumor. And then we'll cut them open and see what they look like. So, well, the window tab in the back for my window defroster requires a Permatex window defroster tab replacement glue. It's probably silver epoxy of some type, conductive epoxy. So I'm gonna run and get some of that. It's probably something I should have on hand anyways. And then Rebecca's going to a party tonight, so I gotta button this up or this becomes the 5-day dash cam project. It's tough. It's just tough to finish things, and yeah. Anyhow, head to the store. If you remember when we picked up the side-by-side, the front wheel kind of poked through my grating on the trailer here. I need to get that back where it belongs and tack weld it back to the frame here. So following along the things of nothing's ever easy, you can see that if I just try to pull this that way, these tabs then get hung up. So this this middle portion needs to come out while that edge goes in so that I can bring it around on the inside. And my method for that is I got a strap here on this bar here, pulling it that way, and I got this bar on this side, the strap pulling it that way. So if I ratchet that way, pull it this way, and then pull it that way, I think it'll work. I don't know. We're gonna find out together. Close, we're almost there. We're almost there. Then we'll pull this other one and bend it back that way. Let's see, a couple more clicks. You might have it out enough to, not that one though, that one just doesn't want to go. I'm gonna keep going. Oh, moving the side by side. Not, my anchor is not tight enough. Is the emergency brake on? It is now. Yeah, it's just not quite. See, there's a couple of these welds on this side. Okay, this is working. So again, I got the tension here and the tension there. And then if I put the little pry bar in here, give it a little oomph, it kind of pops it into where I need it to be. Let's see, those can go that way a little bit. So let's try cranking on this one a little. And I might have to loosen the other side. A couple of pumps there. Here we go. One-handed. So these right here need to bend in a little. I think we'll give a couple of cranks on this side. Let's see here. Okay, see how it hung up there? You got to figure out how to do things on your own when you're on your own. I'm going to take these straps off and I think drop the tailgate. Oh, look at that. Ha! What a deal. See, all this is broken all the way down now. So I can bend these back into shape, get them down here and tacked on where they need to go. So I'm having a time trying to figure out how to weld outside with an automatic helmet. I can't see through it because it's picking up all the light. If I block the sensors, then it picks up, but it probably won't, I don't know. Okay, the other thing is I think I want to disconnect my tractor here, just so I don't have an electrical connection to my tractor. Blow all the circuitry out of the tractor. Can't see it. Anything. Totally missing it. I am gonna button this up for the night because it got cold out here, and I just got my thin britches on. So gonna squirt a little paint on this, just because I sanded all the paint off. It's bare metal, it's gonna go right out here, so I'm just gonna squirt some paint on it and pull it out in the drive, and it's probably good enough the way it is. Not beautiful welds. This is not a, it's not a how-to, it's a how we do. Okay, well that's it for fixing the trailer. Not beautiful welds, but I hit them with a flapper wheel and you'll never see them anyways. And we'll be using this trailer soon to go pick up some goodies.